Ian Wright was a big hero of mine. And I knew that he had a Nike endorsement, so, and like if you had a Nike endorsement, that's all you wore. And I'm sure it was Arsenal versus Everton away. And he wore Puma King boots and he scored a bad boy goal. And I was like, and at first I was like, oh my God, bad boy goal. And I was like, wait, he changed his boots. So for me, Ian Wright was as good as my dad. So if he said Puma Kings was the thing, that's what I had to go and get.
They say the best things in life come in twos, you know. Like my kids, me and Vuj, apparently abused because my ex-girl's stressing, my next girl's vexing.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Poet. I'm with my good friend Yinka. You're probably wondering why are Poet and Yinka at the Puma HQ, courtesy of Pro Direct. Well, we're going to design a boot for the new City Pack. I'm gassed. I'm also cold. So Yinka, let's go and design this boot. Yeah, get me?
Basically, this is how we run it. So, whatever ideas you come up with, I have a render here that I can just drop in different colours onto the knit. I can drop in different graphics. So, my name Conor O'Brien. Role at Puma is graphic designer for Team Sport Footwear.
Is there a direction that you essentially wanted us to go in before we came, or is it just like free roam? Just do what you want?
Free reign, yeah.
It would just be nice to make a football boot that if I took away the studs, I could rock it on road.
The process changes quite drastically between different projects, depending on what goal we want to achieve from the end of the project. So from a process point of view, we maybe start up here on the board. And basically, so how we usually do with this is, brainstorm some basic ideas, keywords. Mm-hmm. We'll often try and start off with keywords, what's most important about the project itself, what stands out, what makes it unique. From there, we'll get the keywords, try and draft them together into something more conceptual.
I think that's important. I think it is important to be mad simple. I would want it to be simple, but have really, really small things which make you go, oh, that is sick.
Yeah.
I personally was thinking to keep it as like monotone as possible.
I'm down for that.
Just even aesthetically, London's very as in estates, is very greys. Do you know what I mean? Like all that speckle kind of like pebble dashed.
Once we have something conceptual, it'll give me a good idea of, okay, how do I envision the colours? And then the colours will inspire the materials or vice versa, which will then lead into a graphic. And of course, like the ultimate goal is to have something that will work harmoniously.
And it's mad relatable as well. Like the more you glamorize it up, it's not that part of London that you want to epitomize. Like if you looked at London as an estate, like the glamorous one is like one of two people, whereas everybody else is like what Yinka's saying, that sort of gritty, greyish, blackish, do you know what I mean, tracksuit type vibe.
And that's, I think, why I was saying more as well about having an element of the reflective, just so that it comes with the whole, like, even like construction workers, that kind of like, you know, that kind of feel.
Dope.
And then at least it looks like it's coming from.
So what we came up with today was 3 different silhouettes that arched over one idea. What we wanted to do is have one continuous red thread that ran through all different silhouettes that would be quite clear from an outstanding point of view that it's all one pack, but have each silhouette have their own characteristics, have their own personality.
But that's why I feel like we should do something kind of patchwork based within. That's what I'm saying. If you go into a household and then there's like certain details that you remember, like your one brethren might have had a certain carpet in their house. And do you know what I mean? So like, and then the next thing could be like
that generic
patchwork.
Caribbean carpet.
The next patchwork could be like literally like a quote or a lyric.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But handwritten, like, you know, like, and then different patchworks of just memories.
So we've taken different cultural and the daily things and the faint memories that you have in everyday life, cut them up, separated them, spread them all out on the table basically, and try to see how we can piece it all together and how to make sense and how to make one harmonious image that makes sense to that consumer.
And that summarizes London, so that's how I mean, like, for example, now I can take that to another country and they won't understand everything in terms of if you look at it individually, but as a whole, they'll understand what it represents. Yinka's idea about the boot on the outside in comparison to the inside is something that happens today. That's still very much a cool depiction of London, and it was when I was growing up as well. No ball games allowed. Again, it's a very honest depiction of London, and I think staying on that narrative, it allows people to have an insight into their childhood or their current day. When you make things very, very personalized, it's very restrictive, such as a postcode N17. Like, no one can relate to that too tough, but at least I know if I say no ball games allowed in this and it's very London-centric, it's not impossible to take it to somewhere like Norway where someone will have their own similar story of where they can't, do you know what I mean? Yeah, growing up in London when I was growing up was hard work. The beauty about it is now we're able to sort of use that part of our life and install it in a brand as big as Puma to create something special. So although it was hard, it was all worth it because now I'm using that experience I had growing up to create something that I'm now gonna make, 100 pairs of or so on and so forth. And it's ridiculous, like me and Yinka sharing our experiences within London to create a trainer in Germany. And I'm Jamaican. This is mad, cuz you don't know why.
Working with people is definitely a lot more interesting. You've feedback or you've ideas that you wouldn't have come up with yourself. You've processes that you wouldn't naturally do yourself, which leads you down a lot more unique roads.
The bottom though, I definitely want to have a chip it away and reveal something. What it reveals, I don't know.
The process of especially working with someone who's, let's say, hasn't come from a similar creative background as me is a lot more interesting, and the challenges, I feel everyone involved in that process a lot more, because we also have to try and find a middle ground, try and find a collaborative point. It's intense in a brilliant way that it's shorter deadlines, it's quick results, which is brilliant for me because especially coming from a background with a lot more spray painting and graffiti, you always want quick results. You know what you have in mind to see, and to translate it into a product, I think it works pretty smooth.
You guys want to have a quick look, just a pattern library I'd set up previously.
That's dope.
But it's more generic stuff as such, but in case there's anything here that you guys like, of course we can make it custom. Here we could, let's say, go into sound waves if you want to go down music radio.
Yeah, that looks like frequencies. That would be sick because that's like pirate radio.
Oh, pirate radio. Asia Heat. The good thing about working with Yinka is that we both have grown up in similar backgrounds. So I'm from North London, she's from East London, but it's not dissimilar in approach in terms of like council estates, groups of man them. When you're using that experience to create a trainer and you're saying, why don't we make the show of the trainer like almost like looking at London as an ignorant individual in the late 90s, early 2000s, looking at London, then actually being involved in London, like living in that council estate, living in that house, like playing football on the block, chirping the girls using the old bus and getting the numbers, you know my thing. So using that sort of experience and knowledge and know-how to create this story and this narrative is sick because I still feel like it's relatable today to someone.
What was also brilliant is we have the opportunity to use something a bit more funky, what we might not get away with inline. For example, as you'll see, with a very heavy reflective graphic, hidden details, hidden story elements, reveal graphics. So a lot of this is something that we may not get to play with on a usual basis. So to do it in a pack like this, again, it challenges me, it challenges the guys here, it challenges the whole system to try and push forward and do something unique. And I think we've definitely gotten that.
I just know that I love Ian Wright. So now I love the Puma King and now I've designed the Puma, I am supercharged. This is gas levels 907. Like this couldn't be a gas fire in your yard to blow it up. That's how gassed I am.
Gas fire. So you're trying to go old school because we based.
I am old school, nostalgic, you see?
Say the best things in life come in twos, you know. Like my kids, me and Vuj. Apparently abused because my ex-girl's stressing. My next girl's vexing. Watching all my videos, I roll up in a Lexin. And order more. Let me order more. Food for the folks.